My name is Indy Anna Bones. I'm an archaeologist, explorer, adventurer, cryptozoologist, street art expert, and friend to pigeons. Join the adventure as I explore mysterious places, forgotten history, and track down unknown creatures. Hi, I'm Anna, and today's adventure is going to the heart of every conspiracy theory you've ever heard. You've guessed it, we're talking about the Templars. This is the Pont Neuf Bridge in Paris. To Parisians, the name is a funny joke that has to be explained to us Americans. The name means new bridge, but it is actually the oldest bridge in the city, connecting the Ile de la Citi to the north and south banks of the Seine. This Viking Bait Island was the seed that grew the city of Paris. This was the seat of government back into the Roman Empire, and in the 12th century, it became the home of Notre Dame de Paris. On March 11th of 1314, this little park at the tip of the island is where the poor knights of the Temple of Solomon came to a fiery end. That was the first Templar conspiracy. Regardless of what you've heard in the last 700 years, the fall of the Knights Templar was orchestrated by a French king with a gambling problem. Even though the Templars had shielded Philip IV inside their walls against an earlier peasant uprising, King Philip the Pretty owed the Templars a lot of money, and he didn't want to pay it back. Though they started as warriors and knights, by the end of the 13th century, the Templars were bankers who had invented the checking account. The poor knights of the Temple of Solomon had been founded after the First Crusade and took their name from the ruins of the Temple of Solomon where they made their home. Their mission was to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land, and many of those pilgrims were wealthy nobles that didn't want to tempt brigands with carts full of money and wealth. The Templars held money in Europe that could be withdrawn from Templars upon arrival in the Holy Land, with the appropriate fees, of course. There is no logical way to describe the Crusades other than a giant dumpster fire of a clusterfuck that took more than 200 years to burn out. By the time Jacques de Molay became the Grand Master of the Templars in 1292, the Muslim kingdoms had reclaimed Jerusalem and forced the Europeans out of the Holy Land altogether. There was fighting here and there in the Mediterranean, but the days of Richard Lionheart and Saladin were already a century in the past. Molay was circling through Europe, trying to drum up support for another invasion, when King Philip came up with a plan to clear the books. Philip the Pretty realized that if he stole the vast wealth of the Templars, he would have all the money he needed to pay the Templars back. Secondly, if the Templars were destroyed, he wouldn't need to pay them back. On Friday, October 13th of 1307, a secret order was executed across Europe to arrest all of the Templars for heresy. Jacques de Molay had been lured to Paris, where he was taken into custody as well. According to some, the event was so traumatic that we still consider Friday the 13th unlucky today. You may be asking yourself how the King of France brought down the biggest banking and fighting organization in the world. It's easy when you have the Pope in your pocket. This wasn't Philip's first time around the block with villainous schemes. The year before, he'd kicked all the Jews out of France because he also owed a lot of money to Jews. In 1301, Philip had been on the verge of excommunication for his bad behavior, so he arrested the Pope, and mistreated the Pope so badly that he died not long after. Despite all this, Philip still got his own man, Bertrand, elected to be Pope Clement V. Bertrand didn't want to move to Rome for political reasons, so he and the subsequent popes essentially remained as French prisoners for the next 70 years. Clement V didn't live long, though, and neither did Philip the Pretty. Jacques de Molay was burned at the stake here at the tip of the Ile de la Cité in 1314. Pont Neuf wasn't constructed until 1578, so he would have been able to see Notre Dame.
Get it? It's the new bridge.
According to legend, as fires consumed him, Molay laid a curse that his two foes would not survive him by a year. Clement was dead by disease in less than 2 months, and Philip was killed in a hunting accident 6 months after that. Templar conspiracies persist to this day.
Get it? New bridge.